Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. In the United States today, an estimated 84 million adults volunteer in some capacity. Their contribution is worth nearly $240 billion to those they help. Volunteerism has a long legacy in our country. In 1763, Benjamin Franklin founded the first volunteer firehouse. About 100 years later, the United Way was founded. Tens of thousands of volunteers are now coordinated through United Way chapters across the country. This afternoon, we're going to learn and promote some of the volunteer opportunities across the state of Vermont through the United Way of Chittenden County's Volunteer Connection. Joining me to begin our program are two United Way staff members, Mary Pelkey and Pitt Manivan is the Mary is a foster grandparent program coordinator in Franklin County, Grand Isle counties, and Pitt coordinates the programs in Chittenden and Washington counties. In addition, Pitt is the coordinator of the RSVP program as well. I want to thank you both for joining me. Before we get started on some of the specifics, tell us a little bit, Pitt, about why you're highlighting these particular programs.
Sure, Judy. Thank you. We are really excited to be here to talk about this. Why 55 plus? Because nationally, they are the largest group to be volunteering today. They have a lifetime of skill and experience to give back to the community, and maybe due to having more time because of being retired, or they are having more control over their professional schedule, and they have grown kids. Whatever the case may be, they're giving back, and United Way recognizes this, and we also support the mobilization of 55 plus volunteers.
Mm-hmm. And so let's talk about the specifics about RSVP. What does that program offer?
RSVP is a personalized referral and matching service. So what we do is we work with volunteers to be able to match them to opportunities in the community that meets their interests, their availability, and their skill set. And we do that by working with hundreds of organizations, nonprofits, public sectors around what the needs are. And it's a broad range that volunteers can pick from. And it's great to have that personalized experience so that the volunteer experience is meaningful and that the volunteer continues, and it also means better results in the end for the community. But United Way also works with specific areas of education, income, and health, and we do have specialized signature programs around that too. So those are, for example, working in the school systems. We have RSVPs that are school buddies, and they work with children one-on-one. And the teachers have identified the students as needing academic supports. We have RSVP, there's pictures showing some RSVP at the State House working with nonprofits to promote their organization. Right there we have a volunteer RSVP through the Read to Me, which is an excellent program which promotes literacy for children. So volunteers go in and they just go and read, and they can have a conversation with kids, and it really helps. It's a building block to formal education.
It sounds like it's pretty safe to say that depending on if you want to volunteer your time, depending on what time you have and what skills you have, there's a need.
Yes, there is definitely a need, and we can find almost a match for everybody. We definitely try to take the time to listen to the volunteer when they do come in to assess exactly what is it. This is a public service. It's no charge, and we definitely, as United Way of Chittenden County, want to be able to make it meaningful and the most impact for our community.
And also to the most impact for the volunteers,
yes.
You said, because you want the volunteer to be enjoying their experience
exactly,
as well.
Definitely.
Well, let's bring in Mary Pelkey to the conversation. Mary, tell us about the foster grandparent program and who's eligible to join, and a little bit too about, I think, your background, because you've been at it a while.
Well, I've been at it 24 years, and it works just as well now as it did 24 years ago, which is why I'm still with it. The foster grandparent program is a really unique program as it's intergenerational. It really links up adults over the age of 55 with kids and youth under the age of 21 that have been identified as having some need, whether it be academic, social, developmental, and they work one-on-one or in small groups in a variety of community settings, Head Starts, schools, preschools, elementary schools, and under the direction of the direct supervision, I should say, of teachers and staff people. They work with identified children within the classroom on specific goals that are developed and actually tracked throughout the course of the year, so they know really at the end of the year what impact they've actually had on the children they work with, which is really nice. They can really see the progress that has been made. Although they only work with a few children that we track the goals with, they are the grandma or the grandpa to all of the kids in the classroom and even in the school. It's pretty impressive to see. I actually have we have some married couples that volunteer together, which is really unique. To be eligible for the program, you do, like I said, need to be 55. It's a very committed program, so you need to commit to a minimum of 15 hours a week. And you can volunteer up to 40 hours a week. And we have several volunteers that have working 30, 35. And I think once we get them in the program, Pitt, they really seem to like it. I have somebody that's, it's her 30th year in the program.
Wow.
And, and I have folks that are from 55 to 98 that are still working in the program right now. That's my age range right now.
Why is it important for the kids to have these older adults in their lives?
Times we all know have really changed. Families have it tougher in these economic times, whereas a long time ago, only one family, one parent needed to go outside and work, and one could stay home with the children. Now, most often, they both have to. They have to move away from maybe their hometown, away from grandparents and family members, because they have to go where the jobs are, which leaves a lot of the children without the contacts of their grandparents. And although foster grandparents are not their blood grandparents, so to speak, they are their school grandparents or their daycare grandparents, and they fill such a wonderful void. And to see the wonderful relationships that are formed between the volunteers, it's just amazing.
Now, I know you have a unique way of surveying the kids to learn how they feel about their foster grandparent volunteers. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, every 3 years we do a survey where we survey, we're always asking the volunteers, how do you feel about the program? And the teachers and staff people, how do you think the program works? So we started surveying the children that are actually served. They have specific questions that they're asked, and they can draw pictures to answer, to go along with those questions. And we have had such wonderful, wonderful comments and wonderful insight from the children, especially this year. And I believe we're going to have some pictures of that.
Yeah, we can see that right here. Lots of smiling faces.
Oh, it's just wonderful to see those smiling faces, the connections they make.
Looks like we're dancing here.
Yeah.
I had a volunteer tell me that this year there hasn't been one day that they have not got up and looked forward to going into their volunteer job.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, joining us now is one of the volunteers in the Foster Grandparent Program. I want to welcome Jean Cass of Burlington. Thanks so much for being with us.
Very happy to be here.
Jean, tell me, why did you join the Foster Grandparent Program?
Well, I retired in 2006 after 40 years of working as a social worker. My understanding of retirement was that I was supposed to have fun. And I didn't have a lot of money. So I was looking around for some volunteer opportunities because I'm so work-oriented after such a long time.
Sure.
And I saw in the paper that United Way was looking for foster grandparents. I had never heard of this. And it said specifically that we could be in the classroom. And I thought that would be a very exciting, interesting, and very different opportunity for me to be in a classroom with children. So I went through the process, and it took a while because of the background checks and everything that's involved to make sure that you're appropriate for the classroom. And I was placed at Sustainability Academy at Barnes, which was not far from where I live. And I enjoyed that tremendously. But realized I wanted a little more engagement with the children. I wanted really to be able to have relationships with the children. And in a large classroom, such as at the Sustainability Academy, is next to impossible. And I couldn't really know the parents either. So I was placed this last academic year at the Schoolhouse Learning Center in South Burlington, which is a very open and self-directed learning with children, which gave me some very, very different experiences.
So tell us what your day is like as a foster grandparent.
Well, last year it was different. Every day was completely different in that I work with all of the children. I'm primarily based in the kindergarten, so that's 5 or early 5, a little older children. And it's a lot of meltdowns and high peaks, and well, it can be, you know, really frustrating if all the kids are having a bad day.
Right.
So normally that's not the case, and I could be asked by the children at recess to play basketball with the boys, and I love that because it's some contact there also, which they seem to really like that when it's not come sit on my lap or, you know, let's play ball, and that seems to work for them. Whereas the other children will ask me to read with them during quiet reading. They'll say, well, can I read to you? Or might ask me to read to them. I play games with them. I assist them with math. Because the schoolhouse is small, their numbers of students are nowhere near what the city public schools are. Provides me with lots more opportunities to do just about anything that's happening in the school, working with the parents, doing short courses with kids.
And so what is it that you get out of this? I mean, you're talking about, you know, you doing things with the children, but what personally do you like about this?
Well, I have no children of my own. I have many, many great nieces and nephews, but they're all in Syracuse, New York, which is where I grew up. So having access to children, I live in senior housing. There are no children living in senior housing with us. And so I don't have neighbors either. So being in the school, I'm able to be with children of all ages and establish relationships with them that I think are lasting. And I believe that from the kinds of gifts that I get from the children, which could be a picture or a story, or just saying, can I sit on your lap?
Are you surprised at the impact that you have on these kids?
I was, totally. And I didn't get it until the end when I was at the sustainability, when the children made a book for me. I mean, truly. Well, you know, children are so creative, whatever age, but kindergarten children can draw and do artwork and express themselves like they did with the survey. One of the things that one of the children said in the survey of the children is that when I'm not there, it's emptier. Which I thought was just a wonderful, yes, I am very surprised by the impact that I have.
You know, when we recruit people, we try to explain that, but that's very difficult to put into words. It's until you experience it, like Jean has, you can't really understand the full impact of what this type of volunteer job can do.
The love and joy is just amazing. I mean, I really feel full most days coming home.
Yeah.
Does that surprise the volunteers, Pitt?
Yeah, actually it does. I mean, it surprises a lot of folks, like how much like they are quickly part of the school, part of the families of the kids, because they're there quite a bit. Jean also brings up a great point about how we try to be able to match the volunteer to the site, you know, and the foster grandparent program is a very versatile program working with children from birth to 21 years of age. We have a range of like volunteers from Head Start to the school system to alternative schools, and even some that work with juvenile, like at-risk kids. And so it's a great program to be able to like have and to be able to like promote in our community, because it's making huge waves.
And it's okay for the volunteer to say, you know, that was a great experience, but I think maybe I'd like to work with younger kids or maybe older kids or in a smaller setting.
Yes, yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And there are settings that can certainly fit everybody who wants to volunteer.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can actually say that through all of these years I've been in the program, there has not been one volunteer that's wanted to work that I've not been able to place.
And once again, remind us how long you've been in the program?
24 years.
That's amazing. So how can volunteers or people who are interested in volunteering get more information?
Well, they can definitely visit the United Way's website at unitedwaycc.org, and we have a volunteer tab that you could go in, and if you're looking for the specific 55, there's a button that is for 55, but we have other like volunteer opportunities for individuals. Like I said, we work with hundreds of nonprofits that post we have over 400 postings, and you can volunteer as a group. We love having like husbands, wives, or best friends. You know, it makes it very meaningful, and even whole companies can be able to volunteer and to promote like social responsibility. So you can also call us at 802-860-1677. If you want to call particularly Mary at Franklin Granell.
They can contact me at 802-524-6337.
Well, I want to thank you all for coming on and talking about these great programs.
Thank you for having
us.
That's our program for today. I'm Judy Simpson. We'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.
For a video copy of today's program, call toll-free 1-888-ATF-3430. Across the Fence is brought to you as a public service by University of Vermont Extension and WCAX-TV.